6.1.5a. Which of the following are true? And it gives me three statements. Statement 1 says relative extrema can occur at any point of graph, even the endpoints. All right, let's look over at 6.1.5 about relative extrema. Be sure to read this carefully and see if you can tell the difference in a relative extrema versus an absolute extrema. One of the things that it says in both a maximum and a minimum, the relative maximum, relative minimum, is that it occurs on an open interval containing x equals c, an open interval. And then it makes the point down below in the notes two important things to keep in mind. Number one, according to this definition, relative extrema cannot occur at an endpoint of a graph. The graph has to change direction. And number two, not all functions have relative extrema. So these two important notes will actually help you with several of the versions of this question. So make sure that you fully accept these things. Check out all the examples in the text and so on. But let's look at the statement 1 again. This said relative extrema can occur at any point of a graph, even the endpoints. And it clearly said back there, relative extrema cannot occur at endpoints. Okay, so statement 1 is false. Statement 2, the graph of a function changes from rising to falling at a relative maximum point. Okay, so it's saying it's going up and then down. It goes up and then down. All right, just in case that didn't make sense, let's look back at the same page. In this definition of relative extrema for applications, in number 1 it says the point C, f of C is a relative maximum point if the graph changes from rising to falling there. Okay, so that pretty much says what our statement 2 said. So statement 2, the graph of a function changes from rising to falling at a relative maximum point. Yes, statement 2 is true. Statement 3, if we sketch the graph of the function f of x equals e to the x on its entire domain from negative infinity to infinity, it has a relative maximum point but no relative minimum point. Okay, I would encourage you to look at the graph of e to the x. I'm just going to take you back real quickly to 1.5.4, which is where we first talked about the domain and range of an exponential function. And down here in a box at the bottom of 1.5.4, it said for any exponential function, f of x equals a to the x. Now we're specifically dealing with e to the x. E is about 2.71, so it is certainly greater than 0. Then, and it's not 1. The domain is negative infinity to infinity, so yeah, it said we need to check it on its entire domain. Look at what it says the range is. The range of f of x is from 0 to infinity, not including 0. It goes all the way to, forever toward infinity. So it goes up forever. It doesn't have a maximum value. And it also doesn't have a minimum value because it never actually reaches 0. So statement 3 said it has a relative maximum. No, we can't say infinity is a number. It never reaches infinity. It just goes to infinity. And it certainly doesn't reach 0 either. So it has neither a relative maximum nor a relative minimum So statement 3 is false. All right, so 1 was false, 2 was true, 3 was false. Let's check that out. Be sure to practice this one several times. Do another like this and another like this and another like this until you're really sure you're comfortable with all of these.